So I realized that this video doesn't really have a gimmick, so I just kind of covered everything with Spotlight and the Highlander for aesthetic. The largest problem that humanity faces nowadays is that we're turning what was previously called tacky yesterday into socio-political microaggression today. Cultural appropriation is one such example of this. For those who don't know, cultural appropriation is the act of adopting elements of an outside, often minority culture, without understanding or respecting the original culture and context. This is also a very long and difficult word to say, so I'm just going to call it CA from now on. Some of you may remember the whole "my culture is not your prom dress" fiasco from last year. If you don't, let me give you a brief summary. Utah senior Kezia Daum went to prom wearing a Chinese, Sam, also known as a Quipeo, blessed some papas, vaped some nash, and posted pictures of it on Twitter. Now, to borrow Sam Manella's articulate educational video on the Civil War in South Sudan, my reaction went something like this.
He was like, yeah, well, who cares? Oh, I see. So they got into a civil war.
The problem was that she wasn't Chinese, but she was wearing a traditionally Chinese dress, and numerous people began to say it was CA to wear the dress in that context. Now, let's examine why I think that CA as a concept is just flat out stupid. Everything in your life is a result of other cultures. Very few people know about the complex cultures of the Persians, the Gauls, and the Central Asian horse people who popularized pants. The Romans despised pants, and found them the barbaric and uncivilized dress of their enemies from other cultures. In fact, pants were often banned to prevent a cultural takeover. So, when you wear pants, are you not wearing the garment of an oppressed people whose culture you don't understand? But pairing culture with race is also a dangerous path in itself. In fact, a certain mustache-having, lederhosen-wearing, animal welfare-advocating, cocaine-snorting, possible blow-up doll-inventing Austrian dictator of Germany just loved to make the assertion that your culture is strictly tied to your race. But I cannot stress how much this is not true, especially given the weird melting pot / multicultural hub of the United States. I have no idea what my culture is, but if we're going strictly by race, I'm basically a Taco Bell. CA implies an inherent segregation of culture, rather than the assimilation that is usually natural to human relations in one way or another. But with CA, motive is neglected and irrelevant because we've already established that some people can do and wear some things, whereas others cannot, without some vague understanding or respect of it. Despite what our backwards perceptions of the world outside of our country tell us, not every member of a foreign culture thinks the same. Oh hey, South Sudan! Also, how would one avoid CA? In the US, you can't. I would have to listen only to mariachi music. African Americans would be stuck with jazz, white people with Coldplay, and Russians... Let's not talk about that. The US is the special case in most things because our culture is, out of many, one. Everything is imitated, copied, and duplicated with differing amounts of effort. Everything is appropriated. And when everything is appropriated, nothing is. From ScotCenter News, I'm Joseph Gomez.